Hello, hello. This is Jen. I hope everybody's good. I'm here with an energy update. And welcome if you're new. Welcome back if you're not new. Thank you for being here. So, month of June. We're in June, June 1st. Huge month of huge change, but major in ways that most people haven't seen before. Um, may seem like I've said that many times before, but that's how life goes, right? It's a forward movement. So it is pretty normal that we are seeing and feeling, receiving energies that we've never had before. So is the month of June. I spoke before about eclipse season, and we have one this week, the 5th, 6th. It's a huge eclipse. It's going to affect everybody at different levels, as always, but mainly those people who have been spiritually working for quite some time, or people who feel that they are ahead of the wave, not necessarily in advance, but just in front, really in front of the wave, in the first part of the wave, are the first ones, or will be the first ones, to integrate these new energies. And for most, it's going to translate into slowing down in every sense of the word. So, slowing down physically, mentally, needing more sleep, needing more time to complete stuff, and do your tasks, your chores. And when I mean a slow down, a physical slowdown is literal. Walking slower, dressing slower, doing everything physically slower, as if you're in water, for example. You know, in water, how you move and everything is like more smooth. That's what it's going to feel like for a lot of people, because it's time to receive the new codes, the new downloads, and the new energies. And after that transmission is completed, it will be time to integrate it. So it's normal when we go through major transmission phases, it's normal to feel lost, to feel like we're grieving, because we are grieving the past. We are grieving who we were yesterday. We are grieving who we were last month or the last 6 months. And for these people, it means receiving new information about their mission. And for a lot of them, it's going to come as a surprise, because there will be a drastic change of what they thought their mission were. It doesn't mean that they were wrong when they thought that they had a specific mission. It's just clearer now. It was your mission at that time, and now you're being called where you're needed. And it's in line with what you thought was your mission before. It's totally in line. It's just maybe presenting itself a little bit differently than what you had imagined or what you were wishing or hoping for. Trust the process as usual and surrender. This is for your highest good. And your higher self knows, your soul knows, and they don't make mistakes. They do not make mistakes. It's when we get the ego into the mix that we start going off path, that we start with the fears and the doubts and the what ifs and hows, and how is this going to happen? And the real answer to this is, who cares? What matters is that it happens. What matters is that it shows up. The way it comes to you doesn't really matter. But yes, get prepared and get ready to have some surprises delivered to you. And remember, if you feel like there's like adversity or that there is resistance, do your best to release all of that and just go with it. Just go with the flow, and you're going to see changes in the way you think, you see, you feel, but also external changes. The way you dress, the way you walk or stand, or, we all have a favorite standing position, either putting all your weight on one side or, your arms a specific way. Even that will change. Everything from the smallest detail into how you do certain things like your bedtime routine or your morning routine. Maybe you're going to find yourself changing or switching things around and doing things in a different order. That's okay. There's nothing to be mad about or stress about. It's normal. It's the new energies are in, so it's time to embody them physically. And it's when you start seeing these minor changes that you're truly entering into the physical integration of what you've been previously working on. And that previously is different for everybody. It could be days, it could be weeks or months. And in my past, like probably 4 or 5 videos, I kept repeating how a lot of people are feeling different when they wake up in the morning, feeling totally out of it, like they've partied all night. That's because we were receiving so many things during the night. And now we're going to start like putting all of that together, while the others that are newly awakened or, not as far as you are, will start receiving those energies and downloads. So while you physically integrate and embody them and be the change that you want to see in the world, they will receive the spiritual teachings until they can reach the physical integration. So at this point, there's a lot of physical releasing and physical purging to make space for these new, not sure how to word this, but these new ways of living, of being, these new ways of being. That's the better way to say it. So yeah, the body is getting prepared to go through that phase and through that work. So it's releasing whatever is no longer needed and wanted. So it can translate into a lot of weird stuff like losing your hair, having more fragile nails, brittle nails, gaining or losing weight, having zits like when you were 13 years old, stuff like that. So the body is detoxifying, so it's really important to give it very good food and lots of water, and good water, and of course lots of good intentions and vibrations. While all of that is happening for everybody, for us all, the DRD Divine Masculine is also going through that at different, levels for everyone. But for those Divine Masculine that are ahead of the wave, they are also grieving their old life, and it's the detachment of the karmic that they're completing. Not necessarily the person itself, but whatever was lingering of that relationship, of that person, or the life that they had together. And for some, it means that they're still with their karmic, but they are starting to receive those messages telling them that this is not part of who they are now, or they need to release this, getting the directions. They're starting to think about it. And I'm seeing lots of Divine Masculine that will walk into those teachings sooner than we think. So don't despair if you're in the twin flame connection where your twin flame is still in a karmic relationship. It's happening. And while that is happening, for the divine feminine, it may feel like the tables are turning, like a role reversal, like an energetic polarity reversal or switch. While that detachment is happening on the divine masculine side, the divine feminine side is starting to be free. And let me explain what I mean when I say be free. For a lot of divine feminine, they felt like they were stuck in this connection, unable to move forward at the pace that they wanted, at the rhythm that they wanted, or in places that they wanted. They felt like held back. And with this role reversal, the feeling of being held back, because, being in line because you're waiting, is going to slowly fade, to go away completely, for you to shine and stand up real bright and embody those new energies and vibrations, for the divine masculine to then start working on that. And yes, at one point, it's all going to be in balance. And people, twin flames, when they come together, they will be in balance. Um, so while the divine masculine is working on detaching and releasing of all karmic attachments, like deep roots, for a lot of them, they've done a lot of work, a lot of letting go, but there are still some patches to be cleared. And like more than 75% of that work is already done for the majority, or the early majority, I should say, the ones that are really ahead of the wave. And for some, they're like at 99%, like almost completely done. They're really just looking at those last patches of, what it feels like when a memory fades, sorry, when a memory fades, you know, if you if we take memories when we come back from a trip, we come back, we talk about it, we go to our friend's house, we show our pictures, and we remember everything in every single detail. And as time goes by, those memories tend to fade away, to only keep the more impactful ones, the ones that we will carry with us for the rest of our lives. That's what the divine masculine is working on when they're releasing their karmic attachments. It's very clear to them that it was a karmic relationship and a karmic lesson, and that they had to go through this in order to ascend higher. And they are totally aware that this person, they could never be with them again, not in this lifetime and not in the next one. They are totally aware that that person probably didn't do anything that they've done on purpose to hurt them on purpose, but they've done it. And that it happened, and it's now part of the past. And they're looking at whatever is left to be looked at, to clear and to release. And they have a different outlook on it. Instead of being bitter about it, or angry, or sad, or in pain, they can look and they can just like go, yeah, it's done. I'm over, with like a smile on their face, with almost a feeling of satisfaction. I say almost because, yes, there is satisfaction into thinking that this cycle is over, but it's not like satisfaction like, yeah, I did well. They are missing a few feathers, if I could paint it this way. They're looking at it, realizing how painful and deep that relationship was, and how far they needed to go to heal. But now that that path has opened up for them, they know how to go back on it to work on other things to heal. The relationship with their parents for some, and the relationship with women at large: mother, teachers, sisters, cousins, friends, lovers, women. They have a completely different outlook on the feminine energy, and they are like mesmerized. They are curious. They are asking themselves, how can they do that? How can they be as strong as a man when it comes to specific stuff? And how can they be sweet and loving, caring and compassionate at the same time? So that's another part of the feminine energies being physically integrated into the masculine. So if you remember not too long ago, I was saying they are waking up to this, and now they're really like consciously taking a look at it, accepting it for what it is instead of being afraid of it, and using it to their advantage. So it's like another tool has been added to the toolbox, which is really great. So physically, the energy is moving around much more smoothly in the body, but there is still work to be done. So with this table turning stuff and role reversal, the energies in the body are also changing. So a lot of people that are dealing with physical pain may be feeling this at this point. They may be feeling like, oh, you know, it feels like my center of gravity has shifted or something. My solar plexus feels different, or my heart. The heart is the engine of everything, of not only the body, but the energetic bodies as well. So a lot of people are set to be relieved of a lot of pain, whether emotional or physical, and being free. Linking back to what I was saying about the divine feminine, that she's starting to feel free, like those ropes that were keeping them back are now gone. And it feels lighter, it feels easier, it feels like things are like fluid. So physically, a lot of changes are happening, and I am seeing a lot of people like shifting shape in a positive way. Shifting, losing weight. I see a lot of losing weight for a lot of people, because when we heal spiritually or mentally, the body doesn't need to hold on to all the toxicity that it was holding on to. A lot of people do gain weight when they get stressed, and then there's the opposite, where people lose weight when they get stressed. And if you look at your twin flame connection, you're one of the two, and your twin is the opposite of you. Most probably, and 99.9% of the time, that's usually how it shows up. And so for those who are gaining weight when they get stressed, you're set to lose that weight in the next coming weeks and months. It's going to show as you release that mental clutter, that spiritual tension, that emotional baggage and heaviness. Your body will start to relax and show these changes. So losing weight, like magically, changing shape. And the other way around too, for those who get really skinny when they are stressed, that's also the body just retaining and just being tensed. The body will start to relax, and more weight gaining on the menu, in a good way, to look healthier, that is. So aside from the eclipse of this week, we will start hearing and seeing during the summer, the month of June, July, August, even September, and so on. We're going to see and hear a lot more twin flame talk, a lot more. Perhaps not with this label, but everything describing the twin flame energy, the twin flame dynamic, the twin flame connection. A lot more talks about that, and it's going to be normal, because the change that we're going through right now is major, 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 and it's deeper than we can all imagine at this point. So it's going to become the new normal to talk about a romantic relationship in a more spiritual way, using spiritual words. Before we used to talk about having chemistry with someone, well, now it's going to be more than just saying, I have chemistry with this person. It's going to be more than I have a connection with this person. The sentence is going to get longer. It's going to be, I have a deep, meaningful connection, followed by whatever words to qualify something. And people are going to start using spiritual words, terms, and that's going to be a whole different narrative. It's going to be great. And also, more twin flame talk, but also more talk about being an empath, being a hypersensitive person, being multi potential. We're starting to see this in the business world, how people call themselves being multi potential, which is only a word to say, I can do many different things. And we're going to start talking about that a lot more. The empaths and the hypersensitives that have been um, looked at for a crazy person because, they were expressing how they could pick up on everything, the energies, the this, the that. It's going to become normal. People are going to express their feelings and emotions a lot more, including the divine masculine, including people that are introverted and don't let their inner world out that much. So, if we go back at um, how some people will be called to just slow down. Perhaps you're feeling this already. Perhaps you know that you should take it easy for the next few months, 2-3 months. Doesn't mean to stop working, because a lot of people are like eagerly waiting to go back to work, and that's really understandable. But more like, if you've been working a lot on all levels, on all possible levels that you have in your life, you're going to feel a shift in the intensity of things. Maybe you heard me say this before, but a lot of people have gone through like situations and lessons in a fast forward way, in a condensed way, like everything happened like in the same decade or something. Well, these people, a huge weight is going to be lifted off their shoulders, and things are just going to start getting back into place in a more natural way, in a more meaningful way for them. And it's going to feel like slowing down, because these people are used to carrying so much on them, so much weight, so much work. So much work has been done by so many people that layer, that thick layer of, okay, I can finally put it down. The past is the past. That's it. I'm looking forward and going forward, and never will I give up. That's how they feel like. But for them, before going into the I will never give up phase and just going through the motions, they need to slow down to integrate all of that physically. That's where we get tired. That's where we get hungry all the time. That's where we don't sleep very well. That's why we cannot really stay in one position watching TV or standing up or whatever. That's where things usually go fast or slow. There's no in between. There's no in between speed. You just need to take things one thing at a time as they show up, and make sure that you acknowledge every single thing that is being presented to you. And acknowledging doesn't mean choosing or acting on it, but acknowledge. Don't let anything pass by your consciousness or your awareness. If you think you have, call upon your guides and start meditating to see, did I miss out? Did I miss something today that I should have take a look at? And recall it back. Ask for your higher self or your spiritual team to bring it back to your attention and awareness and process it. Because, the sentence that says the devil is in the details, it applies very well here. So in those details, there's so many information, so many new codes, new symbols, new directions, new images, new help, new support for people to lie on, lean back on. So go back and now don't start freaking out if you think you've been missing on things. Learn to recall it back. And it doesn't have to be conscious. It could be right before going to bed, placing an intention that you're recalling back those details. You'll wake up the next day, the next morning, and you will know. That's how magical it is. So if you start doing that on a daily basis, honestly, you're going to freak out at how much stuff you're not conscious of and how much you've grown, how much you've learned, and how much you've changed, especially in the past 6 months. And that's only the beginning. Because after that phase is done, for the ones that are really ahead of the game, their lives is going to be a complete 180. Not that they're going to lose even the good stuff, but those manifestation powers will be at their peak, at their best. So if you've got the practice in, if you've got the work in, there is no reason for this not to happen in the best way possible for you. So you're going to literally be pushed into mission, into your mission, into what you've been dreaming of all your life. And you're going to be amazed at how it feels and how it shows up in your life, because it's probably not going to be the door that you think it is right now. It's just going to show up in a different disguise or costume. And it's going to be right in your face. And if you don't take this opportunity, you know that if you don't take this opportunity, that you'll regret it. You have that deep knowing inside of you. So listen to that. Listen to the silence in your life. That may sound completely stupid, but when it's silent during the day, when you're on your own or outside, whatever, and it's silent, listen to the song of nature, because it has a lot of messages. If you're at home and it's silent, take a moment and just breathe in it. Soak in it. It's going to change your energy, and it's going to change the way you connect with the universe and the way you receive messages. So go ahead and do that. Practice that, because it's going to help you to go through the next few months, especially after the second eclipse of June. It's going to help you. It's basically other navigation tools being delivered. So it's really a good time and a good moment to just surrender it to that slowing down of the rhythm and just enjoy your life, yourself. Do the things that you like. Do the activities that you like. Even if, life hasn't started 100% yet. I don't know where everybody's at in the world when it comes to this virus, but things are slowly starting to open again, but nobody knows what it's going to be like in 2-3 months. So just still take these times to enjoy yourself. Bring joy into your life. And if you're down or in a bad mood, do everything that you can to change that and to shift that energy. Even if you're at work, even if, I don't know, it means that you need to get up and dance or do like jumping jacks at work. Who cares? Because that's going to be the new normal. People are going to start doing stuff like that. I'm not talking about jumping jack, but like expressing their energy body instead of repressing it. They're going to express it. And if you're an empath, you're probably doing stuff like that during your day. Like you're probably doing stuff that you only do when you're alone, no matter what it is, just because it feels good, because you needed to get back into focus. And, you know, after all of that is over or like more advanced, that's going to be the new normal. People are going to accept stuff like that instead of judging it because they can, you know, whatever, sit straight for 8 hours at the office all day. Like, we'll see these kinds of changes coming, and that's how the relief is going to show up for a lot of people. And yeah, it's going to be a different game. So that's it for now. Thank you for being here. You can follow me on social media at Indigo Girl 555 on Instagram, Indigo Girls Readings on Facebook. You can reach out by email at indigogirl555 at gmail.com. And until the next time, be well.